Okay, so now that I talked so much, I'm gonna do a little bit of flowers. A little bit of flowers. So I do monochromatic arrangements. I don't do any mixed arrangements in my house for two reasons. One, I'm like, I can't be bothered. I love the look of monochromatic arrangements. Like, it's just more me. Even though I'm like a more is more extra kind of girl, like I just think it's more garden-y to me. Like, I don't know, for some reason I just find it more garden-y to just like have a mass like bucket or mass vase of the same type of rose. I don't know, it's just me. I'm also a little bit lazy and I don't really love floral designing. Like, I'm not a florist, but I thought I'd show you a quick tip on the O'Hara roses, which we don't have any more of these for potted for the spring. They're all gonna be bare root, which I'm gonna put back on our website, like tomorrow, Tuesday, something like that. Okay, so this rose is a Delbard rose, and we have white O'Hara and pink O'Hara. Let me get white O'Hara. I've got a bunch here. Come on. Hortensia already so nicely cleaned these for me. She takes all the foliage off except for the top two leaflets, so I don't have to do that. She's wonderful. Okay, so white O'Hara, pink O'Hara, and they have the same fragrance. Very, very, very fragrant. So beautiful. Beautiful French rose. So white O'Hara is one of the most popular wedding roses of all time. Juliet, I think too. Juliet, white O'Hara. So this rose is very dense, okay? Like really dense. And it looks a lot like Francis Mayon, which is the French rose from the breeder Mayon, who we don't work with on the cut roses. Just putting that out there. So we will not offer Mayon roses, and we will not be offering Cortez roses. The reasons behind that are technical and have to do with the industry, not because I don't love their roses, because obviously you know I do. I love like all the Romantica roses, and Cortez roses aren't like the greatest for us in our climate. They tend to grow really tall and have some blind shoots in the fall. They're much better in the climates that have more dormancy, and they're bred way up in Germany, so I think that's part of it. But we're not going to be offering those as bushes, so no Mayons, no Cortez. All right, so a tip and a trick here. White O'Hara. These roses are very dense, right? And sometimes, I will be honest, you'll get these in the mail from us, and because they are so dense, they need a little help, right? And they will pop open on their own, but they need a little help sometimes. So these roses are very dense and their petals are very strong, and you can just take your finger into this rose right around the front side of each petal, and you can very gently pull it back, and that will help open the rose up and let it get full. There's like 150 some petals in this rose. This does not shorten the vase life of this rose whatsoever. You will still get, 7, 10, 12 days. I mean, if you change the water, you're gonna get more. I'm notoriously bad at changing look what I just did. That's not the rose, it's me. I did that. Anyway, I was too rough. You just gently pull back. Actually, I know why I did it, because I was holding it too low. I was holding it down here. And when you do this, you really want to support the neck of the rose, and I didn't do that. So that's my fault. I'm sorry, but look how pretty I made it. So pretty, look at that. And it smells so beautiful. It's the true tea rose, deep rose scent. Like if you want like that traditional rose fragrance, white O'Hara. So white O'Hara is exceptional because, like I said in one of my previous videos today, most of these commercial cut garden roses aren't bred for fragrance, but white O'Hara has fragrance. White O'Hara was originally a garden rose outdoors many years ago, bred in France by Delbard, and it has since become a commercial cut rose, and now we are bringing it back outdoors. So it was already outdoors before, but it's highly fragrant. And so this rose, if you give it a little bit of help, it can, and just support the neck, okay, when you do this, because I didn't on the last one, and I feel really bad about that. Poor little thing. I didn't even leave enough to like float it. I'm gonna try to float it so it doesn't have to get thrown out. floated like in a bowl. Anyway, you can gently pull back on these petals, just going in a circular motion around, and you can help this bloom open. Sometimes, and I'll be like full transparency on this rose is gorgeous, but sometimes it just needs this because there are so many petals that it just needs a little bit of help to open. Like every now and then we'll get an email in customer service saying, oh, I got these beautiful O'Hara roses and they smelled amazing, but they didn't open all the way. And then, you know, we'll send them another dozen and I'll tell them like, hey, look, you need, like, give them a little help. They have so many petals and they're just so dense. Now this will open up more from here, okay? So I'm just kind of helping it along its way, and it will still have like an incredible vase life even though you're helping it. So here's the pink version. Look how swirly. And so, and like, here's another for instance, like let's say you order roses from me and they arrive on a Friday and your dinner party is Friday night or Saturday or something, right? And you want these to be big and full and you're like, oh shoot, I should have gotten them on, you know, Wednesday arrival so they could be big and full by my dinner party on Friday or Saturday. Well, if you order white O'Hara or pink O'Hara, you can make that happen. You can just speed the process along. You saw how tight this pink O'Hara was a second ago, right? And look what I've done. I've opened her up beautifully. So, and she'll still, like I said, she'll still have an incredibly long vase life for you, especially if you come in and you trim the stems, which will help water take up into the bloom. So yeah, I took that pink O'Hara from this to this really easily. So that's just a little tip on this rose, and I think it just helps make it even prettier than it already is. So pink O'Hara, white O'Hara. And then I need to find a little something for this because I was mean to it. Do this. Let's see. Okay, we'll do this here. There we go. Not the cutest, but that's okay. All right. Here's a beauty. Miyabi. I hear Serafina coming. She might come and say hello. She's sick. She's been coughing, which is strange because she doesn't go to preschool anymore. So as she's coughing, it's like, not good. Here's a pretty one. Special Bride. Very thorny, look at her. She's got, but they're big thorns. They're not like little tiny, like razor tooth thorns. So I'm just gonna clean up the guard petals on this. She is a white rose, at least the outside, so the guard petals always need a little bit of help, just normal. Tell my customers that, please. I'll get these customers that are like, this rose is ruined. And it's like 2 guard petals are, like that's the whole point. Like the guard petals absorb, you know, absorb the shocks and bumps from shipping. But give her a fresh cut. No fragrance in her, but she's really pretty and she opens up full. She's another one though, like there are so many petals in this rose that you can most definitely help this rose bloom. It really benefits from that quite a bit, just like the O'Hara roses. So this is Special Bride. I don't know if we'll offer this as plants. I need to do some research, find out who the breeder is of this rose. I know the breeder, but it's just not coming to me right now. But I really think it's pretty. I wonder a little bit about it in moist climates though, because it's so dense. Like this is honestly like the densest one we offer right now as a cut. And I wonder if in the moist climates, if it's gonna be too dense and just kind of like ball up or have moisture down into the petals. That's one of the pitfalls a little bit of some of these roses that are super, super high petal counts. Like some of the David Austins, I've heard people say they're gorgeous, right? But like if they have a really, really high petal count, you can get some water down into there and then it just doesn't open. You know, it balls up in from the moisture, which is yuck, right? Nobody wants that. So anyway, Special Bride, that'll open up more. Okay, so I'm just gonna do like a really, really quickie with Constance. Because Constance is like one of my favorites. and I need to find my preferred Constance vase, which is right here. So for my roses that, where did I get this? Etty Home. I'll try to find a link for this. This is really pretty. Okay, so for Constance, I really like this vase or this one. This is a little modern for my taste, but once I have roses in it, then it gets a little bit more. And this one came from, oh my gosh, I think maybe Pottery Barn. I feel like maybe Pottery Barn. Has this narrow opening at the top, which is beautiful because Constance drapes. So when you use a vase that has a more narrow opening and it has like this more like ball-shaped bottom, it will allow the rose to like come into the center and then like balloon over. Like I wouldn't so much ever put the O'Hara roses in here because it would just look like they're very rigid and they would just like do that, and so it would just be like a V shape, which But Constance, because she willows and weeps and all those things, how many do I have? I think I'm gonna go with this one because I have quite a few. Because she weeps, she really like benefits from a vase that is wide and then narrow and then can like spill over. So I'm gonna fill this up and okay. I'm gonna fill that up and grab my roses. I use a lot of water in my vases, and I am so awful about changing my water. Like I literally suck at it, and I tell all of you to change your water all the time, and I suck at it. Like I don't know. Maybe it's because I get new roses all the time that I don't know. We're busy, whatever. Okay, so this is like, ooh, a little bit too full. I go about 2/3 full. Maybe because I always have roses, so I don't change it because I know there are more coming. They come every week, so. All right, so here's Constance, a big old pile of Constance. And Hortensia already cleaned these up for me. Like I said, some of them are a little bit on the short side. It might have been just like, sometimes the grower will send me like the shorter ones because they know I don't care and give the longer ones to the customers. This is the little like David Austin authenticity tag. This says Constance. So Hortensia already gave these a cut, and she just cut them yesterday, so I'm not gonna recut. But I will just show you how pretty this is. This isn't the wrong rose. Just because this rose, now it may not spill like the way it sometimes does, only because the stems, some of them are longer. When the stems are shorter, it doesn't quite have the spilly look that it always has, but typically I can achieve it. So I think I have about 3 dozen here. I think that's what I usually ask for. I like roses in 3s. I wish, I honestly guys, I wish I could like sell my roses to you for way cheaper than we can. They are so expensive. Like you would not believe what I pay for these roses. And then with marketing and advertising is just stupid. We have to stop advertising. I mean, it's like, I actually don't make any money on my rose sales, on my cut roses, until a customer purchases the second time, because Facebook and Google are so expensive now. So, and I am not 1-800-Flowers, I'm not the Books, I'm not Urban Stems, I don't have like huge investors that are paying, you know, millions of dollars to my business to grow my business. And so I like advertising, like I just can't keep up with the big guys. And so like, yeah, when we sell our cut roses to you, we don't make any money until the second transaction. Fortunately, we have like a 60% customer return rate, which is like unreal high. Like in e-commerce, this is 4 dozen actually. In e-commerce, like the average e-commerce business only has like an 18 to 20% or 15 to 20% returning customer rate. We have a 60% return customer rate, so obviously we're doing something right. But we don't make any money until we sell roses to you twice. So, and I'm talking about cut roses, not plants. Plants, fortunately, I haven't had to do much advertising because it's a much more natural business for me. Like, I don't have to compete against like these giant, you know, multi-billion-dollar 1-800-Flowers and all those that have a completely different product than I have, but to consumers, like, you know, to the average consumer, none of you, but they just don't see the difference between like garden roses and like 1-800-Flowers roses. So it's really tough. So the as we grow the rose bush business, which is like a much, like I said, natural thing for us and like doesn't require $1 million a year in advertising like the cut roses do, we will cut back on the cut roses. We'll still offer them, but we won't do any marketing, and they'll just kind of like be there on our website for the people that love us and love our roses, but we won't need to like grow that business because it's just too expensive. Like the roses cost a fortune. The shipping, you know, we only charge you guys $20 to ship these roses for like 1 or 2 dozen, and it costs us $50. So every time we ship a box, you're paying me $25, but I am actually paying UPS $50. So, and then the cost of advertising and the cost of the flowers. These flowers are not cheap. These are not 10-cent, you know, zinnias. These are multiple dollars per stem. So anyway, which they should be. They're garden roses. Like, I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying they shouldn't be expensive. Like 100% they should be expensive. But anyway, what I started out saying was I wish I could sell my roses for less money to you all. I wish I could do BOGOs all the time. And maybe like I'll have something recurring for my group so you guys can order more often, or do something like a buy 2 get 1 free. But I really like we rely upon repeat sales to make any profit on these. Like honestly, it's tough. And it was even harder when we were growing all of the outdoor cut garden roses or outdoor roses at our farm, because we had so many reships, because those roses are more perishable, way more perishable than these. These ship wonderfully. And like UPS, or not UPS, but FedEx would have like, or make the roses arrive like 2 days late, and then they'd all be dead. And so we'd have to send more. So we really like lost our shirts on our outdoor garden roses. But these ship amazingly, and thankfully so. And you know, these are all grown by our partner farm in Bogota, and they are amazing and sustainable, and they love their employees as much as we love ours. I'll share some clips. We went down there in May. Yana and I went. I think we're gonna go again this year, so we'll take you along. We went down there, and I didn't really share a lot on Instagram when we went, because I was just like, I wasn't sure people would be like, oh my God, you're in Colombia. But like, their roses are just, I can't grow them as beautifully here, even if I wanted to. Like, that's the thing. And I can't grow them, I can't compete either, like with the cost. Like, we already talked about the greenhouses and all that fun stuff. So anyway, so see how Constance, and again, I'm not a floral designer. Do you see, and then I can just like blouse her a bit. I'll just do a little like blousey blouse. See how she just like spills over so beautifully. So I love her in this vase. Or this type of vase, because she just like literally looks like she's just exploding from the center of the vase, which I love. So, and I don't have any mechanics in here or anything. Like, there's no floral tape, there's no foam. It's just me sticking roses in a pot. Which also leads me, I was thinking about trying to source some vases for you guys, but I gotta make them inexpensive. I don't want to like, you know, I have to make it worth my time, because it's time, but I also need to make it like not expensive for you. So I'm gonna start looking at that. The only big catch with that is that we can't ship the vases with the roses. We can't. So we'd have to like ship the vase from our farm, and then ship the roses from the other farm, and then there's like the shipping cost, you know, like we already lose money on every shipment that we ship. We spend like an extra $25 more than we charge the customer, like we already said. So I'd have to figure that out. But anyway, And then we'll get like the occasional mad person that will be like, oh, well, I ordered a vase for my friend's birthday to go with her roses, and the roses showed up, but the vase didn't. We're like, well, we shipped the vase separate, it's coming tomorrow. But then that's kind of like anticlimactic for the recipient. So we'd have to figure that out. This is all the stuff I like lay in bed at night and think about. There's a reason that we haven't offered vases, and that's it right there. Not that I don't want to, because we get asked all the time. Anyway, all right, so I have like one more step. I think this is 4 dozen, which I know is like, I mean, this is not that attainable for so many people, but what if I did a thing for my group that was like, you get 4 dozen Constance, right? So we can fit 4 into our small box, 4 dozen, then 8 dozen in our bigger box. So it's always like behooves the customer to fill the box. So we have a 4-pack and an 8-pack. What if I did something like, you get 4 dozen of Constance, so you can like create this, and I give you like a great price. Because I know that most of you want like abundance, like you want this big, you just can't get this with 1 dozen. But I also like, you know, like I've been saying, like the cost of the roses is a lot, as it should be. Like I'm not complaining about the cost that I pay for these. But maybe I could do something where you guys get like a special price on like a weekly, a different one, a different rose every week, and you get 4 dozen, and you can create something big like this, and see how pretty this is. Like, I mean, the average customer would be like, oh my God, the head is falling over. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be. Litchfield Angel is another one, the garden rose that does this. Jubilee Celebration does it. They're more weepy, and like that's the charm and the beauty. I'm like, look how gorgeous this is. I mean, come on. So this is Constance. I'm gonna put her in my house, and then I'll show you throughout the week like how she looks. She opens up really fast, as you can tell. Like all these other roses are like tight still. Like this is Cafe Latte, which we're working on plants. Constance opens really quick, but she still has a great base life. Like she'll still sit for not 14 days. I'd say 7. I'd say like next Saturday I'm gonna be tossing these, but I'll have new ones by then. So anyway, let me know if you think I should do something like that, where like every week we have like a variety that I can send you 4 of, and I'd have to work with my grower, because if I have like 50 people that want that times 4, that's 200 bunches. They might be like, oh, that's kind of a lot. So we'd have to work with my grower and see, like, they might not have that availability on top of like all the other roses they grow and cut for us. We'd have to figure it out, but maybe we could do that. We could do something where you get 4 dozen for a special price. Yeah, let's see if we can do something like that. I think you guys would like that, because then you would get like this big abundant beauty, and I could offer them at a price that makes sense for us and makes sense for you, makes sense for my grower. But anyway, yeah, this is Constance. I'm gonna post these videos, and we'll do a live soon. If I do a live, I wanna have multiple cameras going, or multiple phones. So I'm on IG, Facebook, and TikTok, because you know, you just want I wanna kill like 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm an animal lover, I shouldn't say that, but I don't want to like just do Facebook and then like not capture my Instagram audience, because my Instagram audience is like 10 times more than my Facebook audience. And then we're trying to grow our TikTok, even though like I hate TikTok. I mean, I love watching TikTok, but I like hate making TikToks, suck at it. So still trying to figure out my niche in TikTok, but I might as well go live, right? So if I can get like 3 phones going at once, then I'll do live, and we'll figure that out. And I'll announce it like ahead of time, that way you have time to join. So anyway, here's Constance, and I'll get these videos posted right away, and I really appreciate you watching and listening, and I'm gonna answer more questions as soon as possible. This is my iced tea. I drink a lot of iced tea. I don't drink coffee, so. And these are from, I know people are gonna ask, Amanda Lindroth. She does like all of these gorgeous type of, what is this called? It's like very Caribbean. We're going to the Caribbean for Seraphina's birthday. We just booked 6 days at the Grand Floridian at Disney World, which I have to go to the Grand Floridian because it's like so me, I know. Wish it weren't the most expensive hotel. And then 7 nights on a Disney cruise right afterwards. We're gonna be gone like 14 days, but we're so excited. It's her 3rd birthday coming up at the end of May, so we're going early June. And so she's so excited. She's been to Disneyland like a dozen times because Disneyland is so close, and Iana has a season pass, so Iana takes her all the time. Iana's our operations manager, and she helps with Fifi. So Ryan, me, Iana, and Fifi are going to Disney World and to the Caribbean, and this just like made me think of the Caribbean because it's like very, I don't know, or maybe it's like Bermuda, I don't know. Anyway, Amanda Lindroth. I love her stuff. I have lots of it. And yeah, that's it.